What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Now today it's gonna be more of a serious topic. I got a request to do a couple weeks ago to tell my story and my testimony on how I was saved and how I became born again. And I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit short, leave some things out. And if you guys do enjoy this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Now, it started a day before, 2 days before my birthday. And the first night, the night, I went to bed and I went to go close my eyes. For some reason, it felt like something was coming at me, like a tree figure, creature type thing. 2 seconds I closed my eyes to go to sleep. It's like something came at me. Now, prior to this, my grandfather was up north and he was on vacation. I was watching the house for a couple weeks. And I was in the kitchen cooking, shirtless, okay? It's an indicator, or important. And I was cooking, watching TV, and all of a sudden, my grandmother came into my mind. Now, she passed away a while ago, a couple years, I think back in 2013, 2014, not sure. And I just got to thinking of her, and then I see, some kind of figure. So the kitchen's here. Right, and then you got so we have like a open type bar thing deal, and so I saw something come around, and then by the time, it was like a 3-second thing, and then I got a chill right underneath my shoulder blade, or not, mainly on my left shoulder, and then all of a sudden I dropped to my knees. I felt like crying. I dropped to my knees. And I called my mom. And she was like, "Are you alright?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but, And I feel like... So, let's fast forward to when my grandfather gets back. My mom had a TV. Or, this is when the whole I close my eyes thing, and then I see something come at me, and I go into my grandfather's room, because this was like at 12. So I go into my grandfather's room, I asked him to pray over me, and I could feel something leave my body, and then I couldn't sleep. So he said lay with me, and I'm like 20. I was 21. I think I was 21. Sleep, laying down with my grandfather. That's how scared I was. So, the next day comes, I was supposed to grab a TV from my mom's house, and I tell my mom about it, and then, something hit me again, and I don't know, it was like I was being told information. So, my uncle, or I had 2 uncles that passed away. And I'm shaking right now. Every time I say my testimony or my story, I start shaking. So I don't know. Something just came over me, and I was telling my mom, because my grandfather was talking to her about it, and she said, well, because I started saying things about, I'm being fed information, because I thought I was talking to my grandmother. So here she gives me a piece of paper, pen. I start writing it down. And you know what? I'll put a clip into it, into the video right here.
You want a picture of it or what?
No, stop.
And I was just growling. I was writing things down to tell my family, and I was being fed information from the dead, pretty much, to tell my living family. Now, as a Christian, once you're dead, you're dead. You can't communicate with the dead. You can't do none of that. So, I had about 4 pages of what I was writing down. And then my mom had a friend who used to praise Satan and all this evil spirits, and she called him, and so he changed his life around completely. So he was a Christian. So she called him for help, and later that day, they came over, or he came over and prayed over me, told me what to say to become saved. And he said he could see the spirit leave, the evil spirit leave my body and go out the back window. And you know, once you're saved, it's a hard thing right off, because you're gonna constantly be attacked because you're new to faith. I always believed in God, but you know, I didn't put much effort into it, you know. So when you just make that transition to become fully cleansed and believe in God and, you know, live for him, there's always going to be that attack. And on my birthday, the next day, I went to go get the TV, and no, it wasn't the TV. I just went to my mom's house for my birthday. It was me, my grandfather, her boyfriend, and her. And I hate when people sing happy birthday to me. I don't like birthday cakes. The main point, so I got really angry, right? Really angry, to the point where I had to remove myself from the situation. I went out back, and after that, my mom came out and followed me because I made a big deal over singing happy birthday. So she came out back, and I said something I shouldn't have said, and she said, so we got into an argument. She said, sit down, cool off. And when I sat down, so we have concrete here, and then we have the grass here. I fell on the concrete into the grass. Like I just collapsed face first. Like I fell to my knees, and then I fell on the grass. And it's like I was being held down. I couldn't say nothing. Like, and my mom was like, she was gonna call the ambulance or 911. I couldn't respond to her. I just couldn't. I couldn't physically respond to her. I couldn't tell her no. I couldn't move. It's like something was holding me down. And then eventually I could, like, I gained the strength to move, and I got back up kind of in like a kneeling position, and then, or a squatting position, then I fell back onto the concrete. And then my grandfather came out and he prayed over me, and then my leg just started shaking nonstop, like something was being driven out of me. And you know, to have that experience is really scary. And then after that, I couldn't, you know, it was kind of like on my own, because we didn't call or have him, my mom's friend, help me again, because it is a battle, you know, and you gotta fight it. And so eventually after that, I started to sense evil. Whether you believe it or not, I started to sense, I could kind of pinpoint, or I could, like, there would be a point where I would like look at this corner behind me, and I could sense some kind of evil was there watching me. And, I could sense this. I sensed it for weeks and weeks. Just like evil in general. I could sense if it was near me, I would get a little indicator on my back, right where I first was touched. And, so there was one day, my mom was watching her friend's dog. They had a pool. I was swimming. She was on the sitting on the side. And so we were talking about how I was saved and how, I was so grateful and excited to be a follower of Jesus. And then I sensed 10 of them around the pool. And then I, seeing that was seeing there was one right behind her in particular, and I could sense they were kind of like looking at me, saying like, haha, you can't get her because she smokes and she doesn't live the most Christian life. And it was like a sense of hopelessness because it was a evil spirit standing right behind her, and I could sense it, and a whole bunch around the pool. And that's something that'll never leave my mind, just seeing that, because I wanted to talk to my mom's boyfriend, see if he was saved. And so, long story short, he gets home from work. I told my mom I wanted to talk to him. She said wait, kind of let him relax a little bit, wait till he gets in the pool or something. So he jumps in the pool and he goes underwater, and I tell my mom I'm concerned. And he comes back up, and there's the dog they had, or she was watching, ends up scratching him on the chest, trying to prevent a conversation from happening, from me talking to him about Jesus. And my mom was floored when because I pretty much predicted something was gonna happen. And, that's pretty much my story. And I'm still struggling today. I don't sense anything, but, being a Christian is a struggle. It is hard. It is tough to try to follow each and every, thing that God would want you to follow. And, I'm a Christian. I'm not perfect, but I try to be the best person I can be for God, But that's my story. I'm sorry it was kind of chopped up. I have a hard time putting this whole story into a fluent story because, I'm over here shaking. I don't know if you guys can see, but every time I tell my story, I always start shaking, and it's like I focus on the shaking part and I can't get the words out, and I don't know why. So I apologize for not being super smooth. And the story was kind of chopped up, and I don't really tell my story often, and someone requested it, like I said. So there's that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a blessed day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.